Kate Megaw with the Braintrust Consulting Group. Welcome to our Scrum process overview video. Today we're going to look at the Agile Manifesto, the 12 principles of Agile, the core values in Scrum, the roles, the events, and the artifacts in a Scrum environment. And then at the end, we're going to bring it all together using our Scrum process overview diagram. Let's get started. So how did the Agile Framework get started? Where did it even come from? There were a group of people got together in Snowbird, Utah in 2001. They were looking for a better way to get work done. The output of that meeting was the Agile Manifesto. We're uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Through this work, we have come to value individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. That is, while there is value in the items on the right, we value the items on the left more. In addition to the 4 values of the Agile Manifesto, there are 12 principles which guide your organization along your journey to being agile. These can be quite lengthy, so please take a minute to go to agilemanifesto.org to review the 12 principles. Because there are different ways of getting work done, the Agile umbrella describes a framework where the emphasis is on teamwork, customer collaboration, and frequent deliveries. Scrum, XP, and Kanban are all different Agile processes. And we're going to spend some time now doing a deep dive into Scrum. We just talked about the emphasis of teamwork in the Scrum environment. There are 5 core values at the heart of the Scrum team. We have commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. So now that we've covered the values and principles, let's look at the overall Scrum framework. Earlier we talked about the Agile Manifesto and how we value individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Scrum itself is what we call a lightweight framework. It emphasizes 3 roles, 4 events, and 3 Scrum artifacts so that we don't get bogged down. On a Scrum team, there are 3 roles. We've got the product owner, the Scrum Master, and the team members, also known as the dev team. The product owner is the one who represents the stakeholders. They ensure that they are maximizing the value of the work of the team. Our Scrum Master, who is a servant leader, focuses on helping the team and facilitating the overall Scrum process. The team members is a team of 3 to 9 cross-functional, self-organizing people who get the work done. We have 4 events or meetings in the Scrum environment. We have the sprint planning meeting where the team decides what and how they're going to do the work. We have daily Scrum or daily stand-up where the team is syncing their activities for the next 24 hours. We have the sprint review meeting at the end of the sprint where the team is demoing the work they completed during that sprint. And then we end the sprint with the sprint retrospective where the team is inspecting and adapting their overall Scrum process. We have 3 artifacts in the Scrum environment which provide us visibility into the actual Scrum process. We have the product backlog, which gives us visibility into the to-do items required for the product. We have the sprint backlog, which gives us visibility into the work the team has committed to do for this sprint and their plan of how to achieve it. We have our product increment, which gives us visibility into the work that was completed in this sprint, plus all of the work completed in previous sprints. So let's bring it all together using our Scrum process overview diagram. We've talked about the 3 roles in Scrum. We talked about the product owner, the team member, and the Scrum Master. We talked about the 4 events or meetings in the Scrum environment. We talked about sprint planning. We talked about daily Scrum, we talked about the sprint review, and we talked about the sprint retrospective. We also talked about the 3 artifacts in the Scrum environment. We talked about the product backlog. We talked about the sprint backlog and the potentially shippable increment. So let's look at how these all flow together. The sprint itself is anything from 1 to 4 weeks. The sprint is a time-boxed event, and the sprint ends when the time box expires, not necessarily when the work is finished, so it allows the team to remain very focused on achieving the sprint goal. We kick off our sprint with sprint planning. The product owner takes the high priority items from the backlog and presents them to the team during sprint planning. The team then decides, well, these are the number of items we feel we can do within the sprint. This is our sprint planning what conversation. The how conversation is the team taking those backlog items and decomposing them down into all of the tasks that need to be done to complete the work in the sprint. This is our sprint backlog. It is the work the team has committed to do and their plan for achieving it in the upcoming sprint. On a daily basis, the team meets for the daily Scrum meeting, and this is where the team answers the 3 questions. This is what I did yesterday to help move the sprint goal to completion. This is what I'm doing today to help move the sprint goal to completion, and these are any roadblocks that I have. We end the sprint with the sprint review, and this is where the team demos the potentially shippable increment. This is where we say we inspect and adapt the product. At the very end of our sprint, there's a sprint retrospective, and this is the team getting together to inspect and adapt their Scrum process. What went well last sprint, what didn't go so well, and what might we want to do differently during the next sprint. Now we've pulled it all together, we have the Scrum team, our team members, our product owner, and our Scrum Master. We have our core events, our sprint planning, our daily Scrum, our sprint review, and our sprint retrospective. We have our 3 core artifacts, our product backlog, our sprint backlog, and our product increment. So don't forget to go to braintrustgroup.com and download your free Scrum process overview diagram. Thank you for joining us today.